Right, live we are, and I am nowhere near ready, as per usual. Although I should have been a little bit more prepared, but then again, I've been doing a lot of editing and a lot of things off the back of my weekend away down in that there London. Yes, I was at London Comic Con, or London Film and Comic Con, at the Olympia in Hammersmith Road in London, which I'm going to talk about. I'm also going to talk about the con that I went to the week before, which I was going to talk about yesterday, which was the fantastic Mac Pow, which I attended. So basically, I've been doing a lot of cons and getting back into it, which is great. But we've also got stuff to talk about when it comes for a second. Don't know what's going on with my interwebs. I really don't. I try my best. I've done everything I can, but there we go. Yeah, and of course, anything that you want to talk about. Well, we're also going to be running a competition today, because if you are watching from the US, well, there may be the opportunity for you to get a ticket to go and see Superman this weekend, courtesy of Fandango, which is rather cool. So yeah, please jump in and let us know, if you're wanting to go and see Superman, but watch throughout, because we're going to give you lucky American folks the opportunity to see the film on us, or on Fandango anyway. They're the ones that are being incredibly generous. Yeah, I don't even know where my hat is. You can tell that I've just not been able to sort anything else out. But we've got a couple of people watching, a couple of comments already. Who's this? Alexander Alvarez is saying, I want to see Superman. Hello there. Well, you'll find out how shortly when we go live and when we kind of jump into the whole show. But no, thank you very much indeed for joining us, Alexander. I don't know if you're a newbie to what we do. Considering we're a day late, we usually do this on a Sunday, but I will explain what happened yesterday and over the course of the weekend down in London once we've done the opening credits. As always, yeah, jump in on the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what you've been up to, especially if you've been celebrating your big 4th of July over in the colonies. And yeah, let's do this. Talking Con on a Monday this time. Hello there, everybody. Welcome along to Talking Con, a cup of tea with Englishman in San Diego. My name's Leonard Sultana, and this is a show which we do usually on a Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT, where we talk comics, Comic-Cons, and all the stuff and nonsense we get to enjoy at such shows. Welcome, one and all. I don't have the hat. I don't have the cup of tea. I have a can of Pepsi Max, which I'm going to dive into because I need to kind of rehydrate after a very hectic trip down to London. We did, between myself and the other half, we went to see all the great and the good at London Film and Comic Con, which was held at the Olympia on Hammersmith Road. So sort of like northwest of the centre of London. Pretty much right in the middle, to be fair. And we're going to get into all of that and talk about what we got up to, the sights and sounds, and also we're going to quickly touch on the show that I attended last weekend, which was MacPow in Macclesfield, which was a lot of fun. But we'll get into that. Hello there. We've got a couple of people who are joining us, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Chuck Cook, you need to know where your hat and your towel is. As a fellow Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan, thank you very much indeed for referring to that. I know where my towel is. I think I know where my hat is. I just don't have them to hand. So I can't help you there. And we've got people who are joining us who perhaps have not joined us on the show before. Indeed, we've got people that letting us know where they're watching from. Do jump in and let us know. Chucky's saying, happy Monday from sunny San Diego. It's thankfully sunny here in the UK, although we have recently had a heat wave here in the UK, and it broke last night, so we had a lot of rain. So there we go. Toy Fan is joining in as well. Halo, 2 weeks. It is 2 weeks, San Diego Comic-Con, which means as of this week, we are going to be getting the panel information about what's being programmed for San Diego Comic-Con this July, or this month. And we get those programming dates the day according to the actual day of the show. So, for example, we don't get anything on the Thursday, I believe, but we do get don't get anything for the Wednesday for preview night because there's nothing programmed. But for Thursday, we get the programming this Thursday. If we get ourselves the Friday programming, that's going to be on Friday, Saturday for Saturday, etc. Which means this week, over the course of Thursday through to Sunday, we'll find out exactly what programming, who's going to be bringing their previews, their exciting information, and of course, all those lovely little panels dotted around the San Diego Convention Center. That information drops this week. So looking forward to that. Right. We've got ourselves people who are very excited about Superman, understandably, because, well, Superman is one of the big films of the year. It's certainly one of the most anticipated. Time to find out what James Gunn has done with the Man of Steel. I am absolutely, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going on with this particular iteration. From what I've seen, it looks exciting. I like the fact that James has drawn on a number of incredible comics talent who really know their stuff. Certainly when you've got elements of the likes of Tom King's Superman, All-Star Superman, which means it's like Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman. And you've got Tom King, who's obviously referring when it comes to Supergirl. All of these things mean a lot of confidence for a great film. We're seeing a lot of preview kind of comments and reviews coming out of professional people who have reviewed films, and they are being incredibly enthusiastic about Superman. But we're also getting one or two which are bombing it already. I can't believe we're getting Snyder cutters who are putting reviews up for Superman at 1 star purely because it wasn't being put together by their grandmaster. I, for myself, I have a lot of faith in James Gunn, and I'm really curious to see what he does. Right, so we have got ourselves some tickets to get out for the screenings of Superman this weekend. And if you are joining us for the first time, you're probably tuning in for that. Let's see how we're going to do this, because what we've got are 5 pairs of tickets. Unfortunately, this competition is only available for our US brethren. So, or basically US. I'm just remembering the terms and conditions given us by Fandango, who are the sponsors of this particular competition. And basically, what it involves is 5 pairs of tickets up to the value of $15 each. Anything higher than $15, wherever you redeem your ticket, unfortunately, you will have to kind of make up the difference. So when I say for free, if you have a cinema which happens to do their tickets at $15. But I think that's a fair giveaway, quite frankly. But it's 5 pairs of tickets. So you and a friend are going to go and see Superman if you can supply a little bit of information. Basically, we've got Dan who's turning around and helping here. Alison Labour saying, where is the screening? Well, it's anywhere you want. It's a Fandango code is what we're giving. We're giving 5 pairs of Fandango codes. So anywhere in North America is available for this, in the United States. This is where what we're going to do is 2 pairs are going to be giving away here on the YouTube channel, and 3 pairs are going to be given away on our Blue Sky account. But we are looking for one hashtag in particular, and that is this one. We got to have it a little bit distinct so we can find it. It is Superman AEISD, an Englishman in San Diego. That's the name of the show. Okay, so Superman AEISD. But here's the thing. Here's what we're looking for. We are looking for Superman super fans. What we need from you is either a picture, a video, or a story of what Superman means to you. In other words, have you got a piece of apparel, a favorite t-shirt? Maybe you saw Superman back in the day, back in 1977, was it, when it first came out, the Christopher Reeve version? Maybe you have a ticket stub of when you saw that for the first time. Maybe you went to see Superman 2 and managed to get yourself, I don't know, a photo outside of the cinema when you were a wee bairn and you got to see Superman. Maybe you have a cape of some description which makes you want to fly every single Halloween. Basically, we are looking for Superman super fans, and we are needing basically to share that with us. We're going to give away, like I say, 2 pairs here on this show. So over the course of the next, I don't know, 45 minutes, in the comments, jump in and let us know what your favorite Superman story is. I mean, I did have somewhere my apparel, and I may have put it away somewhere, which is a shame. But basically, back in 1977, I mean, I've been a comic fan all my life. I've read Superman all my life, and I've been a massive fan. But I got a bath towel with Superman going across the bath towel, and it's yay big, and I have kept it, and it's in remarkably good nick after decades of washing the privates and feeling like a man could fly while drying myself. Basically, it's stuff like that. What is your big story? What is your favorite Superman memory? Share it with us. What we're going to do is we're going to pick 2. So 2 from the comments, which we'll have over in the YouTube Q&A. So if you've got a Superman story, make sure that you tag it so we can find it with Superman AEISD. Okay, use the code, or go to Blue Sky, follow us. Okay, so you've got another chance to win as well on the Blue Sky, and we're going to run that for a little while longer than the actual show itself. So basically, up to Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, we're going to pay attention to our Blue Sky account. So anyone who's watching this after the fact, by all means, do jump in. But we've got ourselves Alison, who's put the hashtag. We've got Alexandra as well. We don't just need the hashtag. We need a Superman story. Okay. So here, ideally, we need to have a little bit of a bit of background. Type away in the comments, in the Q&A in YouTube, and let us know what it is about Superman, and if there's a favorite Superman memory. We are looking for the big Superman fans. Okay. But on Blue Sky, you have to follow us. Okay. And yeah, again, share your favorite Superman story, but we can also take video, we can take photos. How do you celebrate your love of the Man of Steel? Superman superfans. So using the hashtag Superman AEISD, an Englishman in San Diego. C'est moi. Okay. That I'm going to leave on screen for a little while longer. So let's have a look at this. Chuck Cook saying, hopefully you didn't wear your bath towel like a cape and jump off the roof. I suddenly jumped off the bath side and did a number on my forehead. I seem to remember. And the idea that someone just came in to hear you talking about Superman washing your family jewels is awesome. Yes, okay, I may have mistimed that one. Sorry about that. But yes, but I have a number of pieces of Superman apparel and shirts and all sorts of bits and pieces. But that towel, I think it's just because it must be easily 40 years old. And to be fair, it hasn't faded the colors that much. I've got to see if I can find it. So there we go. That's the competition. Two pairs of tickets on this show. So I think Alexander, and Alison certainly in the front running. But you've got to give us a story. You've got to let us know why you are a massive Superman fan, and we're going to pick the front runners as we go a little bit later on. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about this weekend first, and then we'll talk about last weekend. We'll get into SDCC stories and updates as well. This weekend, on very early on Saturday morning, drove down to London, which would have been okay if it. I mean, it was a perfectly serviceable drive right up to the point where you hit London. London's never a fun thing to drive through at the best of times, but 4 and a bit hours later, managed to get into London and checked into a hotel and got ourselves down to the Olympia in London. Now, I do actually have some photos as well, because I got some photos. Caroline got some photos. Basically, yeah, we had a great time, but my word, Showmasters does not make it easy to love them. There are several things that they have done, certainly in the aftermath and certainly up from Sunday morning, and also just the general way that the actual convention was laid out. It's a difficult thing to kind of appreciate. And you'll hopefully see that when I show you a couple of these pictures. These ones taken by the other half. So this is from a couple from Caroline. And yeah, it hopefully will give you a bit of a sense of the challenges which the convention put itself in. So London Film Comic Con in the Olympia. Never a great room to kind of enjoy at the best of times, because it's a domed glass affair, which means it can be a little bit of a glass house, which means you can get very warm, very stuffy. They are doing some work on the Olympia, and it looks like they're doing some work on the majority of the Olympia, which means there's a lot of stuff in place to kind of stop any debris falling down. So there was a little bit of shade, thankfully, and I'll show you some pictures of the actual convention center itself and how it was put together. So let's see if I can make that a bit bigger. There we go. Lots of booths, lots of vendors, some great cosplay throughout the course of the weekend. Some really good effort put in with everyone who's putting themselves together. And some fantastic booths. To be fair, lots of stuff for people to buy to then take to the invited guests, and yeah, it's always fun to see a thronged mass dressed up. But there we go. Alison Labour, I've never been to London. Photos are amazing, thank you. But some great vendors, and admittedly, a fair amount of little bits and pieces that you wouldn't expect to see at, say, a comics affair. But so lots of apparel and lots of what I call tat, a fair amount of Funko. But the stuff that was there has been relatively well curated. So we're not talking really cheap nonsense. There's just some random things that perhaps you wouldn't necessarily expect, but also some great posters, prints as well. And yeah, so just some fantastic artwork and artists up for grabs to accost and buy their bits and pieces from. Some really, really good artwork and presentations. So the likes of, here we go, Valentina Grosero doing work she has done for Disney. So she was there doing cards and sketches for people. And you've got the likes of, is that Laura? Oh, no, Alice Pisoni from Disney Locana as well. But you also have yourself your photo opportunities, lots of cosplay, fantastic stuff. But this gives you an idea of the layout of the show. And this is the thing that kind of surprised us. Now, like I say, the actual convention center itself is getting a hell of an overhaul. The outside facade is getting all done out, very much celebrating the old school origins of the Olympia. Here in this picture, you can see the kind of that awning that was being hung to kind of protect anybody from any harsh sunlight, but also from any work that may have fallen from the sky if anything happens to the rest of the building, to kind of shake some dust and some debris from the roof. So it was a little bit more shielded than usual. This was it. This was the one room that Showmasters held together. What you're looking at here is from the top third, where you had signings, you had autographs, and you had photos just underneath the balcony from where this photo was taken. Which, to be fair, I think this photo was taken on the Sunday. This was quiet. You had from then the back 2/3 of where we can see in this photo vendors, and the vendors went and filled every square corner of the room. And then upstairs in the balcony was Comic Zone and artists and illustrators. So it was very much a differentiated space where you had your Comic Zone upstairs and what I would consider the Showmasters' bread and butter, photos and autographs down on the ground floor. This is the Sunday, and if you can imagine, it was absolutely round. It speaks volumes that, like I say, myself and Caroline are dipping our toes back into going back into conventions. Caroline was invited to be a PA at a show that we're a big fan of, which is MCon, which is held in Middlesbrough. Nottingham, sorry, get it right. East Midlands Con, Nottingham. That is an arena, which the vendors are all held down on what would have been the ice rink. And around the outside concourse, you have your artists and your talent saying hello to people. They had the same amount of space for MCon as they did for London Film and Comic Con Summer Edition, which had as its guests the likes of Danny Glover, Marina Sirtis, Mel Gibson, a lot of the Doctor Who guys, some great American guests that had been invited as well. So to say it was bedlam and packed and compact is an understatement. When I went to Comic-Con last year, this first room was actually kind of completely empty. You walked through it to get to the first hall, and then you had the second hall, which was holding all the vendors. It had so much more space. But for this show to be completely packed into one room was frankly unbelievable. And this also had panels as well. So there was like little sort of like panel stages just off the outskirts of the upper balcony as well. It was all so squished in, and I didn't understand why. We were told down the line that the reason why the other only available room, which is adjoining to this hall, the first hall, was not being used by Showmasters was because apparently there is a fashion show event that's taking place this week. And to attend it or to put it together, they couldn't break down London Film and Comic Con fast enough for them to put up the stage for the fashion show, which I don't understand. That sounds like a very weak excuse, and I don't know who it's on the behalf of. Is it Olympia covering their back, or is it Showmasters, quite frankly, foisting the blame? I'll talk about that in a second, because how Showmasters have conducted themselves over the course of last weekend have been a bit dubious. I can't say, however, that I didn't enjoy myself, because certainly up in the upper balcony, the comics guests had a lot of space. People could really move around and really get to grips and understand each other. Speak volumes as well about Showmasters, that a lot of the lines for people to get photographs, which they would purchase and then take to tables to get signed and get their signatures, the Showmasters audience know what they're getting. And from what I've been seeing on Showmasters and London Film and Comic Con forums, there's been very little in the way of complaints from those that go to Showmasters on a regular basis. It's almost like this is a rather mercenary show. This is a show that organizes itself with the focus on autographs and photographs, and everyone kind of knows what the drill is. Caroline took this photo from the upper balcony and had a number of newbies who hadn't attended the show before and really kind of were shocked about how it was being organized. There was a section in the corner which was almost like a kind of barter system with a bloke on a chair hollering at people. It was really kind of Mad Maxian. It was very aggressive. The whole show is very aggressive, but it's just, if you are new to it, if you didn't know what to expect, you could be very overwhelmed indeed. And yet the show itself, the show floor, absolutely rammed. Again, this first third, you got the likes of, let's see if we can zoom in and see what kind of talent we've got. Well, we've got ourselves Colin Baker there. We've got, quite frankly, looking a little bit like she's been through the wars, Sean Young. But then again, let's put her, I'm not going to shame her for that. At the end of the day, she's put the mileage on, but she's got a hell of a filmography under her belt. Sylvester McCoy there as well. A number of the Doctor Who Illuminati as well. Chase Brown. Who else we got? James Robinson from, I believe, Lionheart. So obviously you had Mel Gibson connection there. Mel only showed up on the Saturday, and that was an interesting thing. Boxed off in one corner on the side of this area, which you could not get to. And even that was a bit of a weird thing to see, people sort of like negotiating that particular area. All well and good. And like I say, just a very busy thing. I'm not playing well. Where's Waldo? Not that I'm not going that far. Don't worry about that. Let's have a quick look. And I think, if I'm right, that section there, right in the middle, that's where Mel Gibson was housed, in sort of this boxed off section, which you could not get any kind of view in from any angle. You were corralled in to have your brief moment with Mel Gibson. And like I say, he was there for the day, and then you never saw him again. It was a hell of a thing. However, like I say, some fantastic art and artists on display. Caroline doing her best to get around as many as she could and take some pictures of the booths. But like I say, as you can actually see the size of the room for the guests that were being invited, it's incredibly small. This is from the other side. Yeah, I mean, we've got Alison who's jumping in saying, Mel Gibson, wow. I mean, well, number one, it's interesting to me to have Mel Gibson appearing at a UK con, considering the man is still quite problematic. But at the end of the day, he has a fandom, and he has an indelible place in Hollywood history. So he obviously is going to have a lot of attention at a show like this. But the fact that he was absolutely corralled off, he was there to get people in, pay their money, say their piece, and away they went. Chatting with my friend there, who's looking down onto the balcony. But yeah, some great cosplay. Danny Glover, I don't think we got... Danny John Jules, meeting fans and saying hello. But this gives you an idea of the kind of throng that takes place right in the center of the autograph areas. Over here on the left, you've got a table where people can buy photos, which will then filter forward and have themselves signed by the guests. Ron Perlman was on display, John Barrowman, Brian Blessed as well, all of which, and all the boys from the Dwarf. We're going to talk about that in a second, so let's just make. So yes, don't worry, we are going to be getting on with that. Very quickly, if you've just joined us, welcome along. We are running our Superman giveaway, 2 pairs of tickets on this show and 3 over on Blue Sky. The idea is we are looking for Superman superfans. Please use the hashtag SupermanAEISD with your posts and let us know, number 1, your love of Superman. Say, for example, if there's a favorite story that touched you and really informed you as a person, perhaps, really kind of got you excited about Superman, jump in with your comments, and what I'll do is I will save them, and we're going to choose 2 of the big Superman fans who have used the hashtag as well. Superman AEISD, an Englishman in San Diego, Superman super fans, and we'll talk about give those tickets away at the end of the show in about half an hour's time, if not sooner. Like I say, this is the Sunday, which is just crazy. But the Showmasters guests, they're the ones that kind of know how this works, which means if you weren't familiar with the Showmasters setup, you could feel very lost and overwhelmed. Oh, hello. Let's give that a bit of a turn. There we go. Is that Superman? Yep. Yeah, lots of vendors selling Mel Gibson and Lethal Weapon kind of bits and pieces for them to take over to Mel's table or the booth, corralled away. But this gives you an idea of the scale. It's not huge at all for what we have seen from Showmasters in the past, which kind of begs the question then, is this a show that should have been held somewhere else and they should have just kind of accepted that the Olympia could not hold what they needed to do in London? But this, at the end of the day, is the only kind of venue of this size in this area of London. Earl's Court's now closed, so it's all down to the Olympia. But then when the Olympia is doing all of that work, it just makes it so much more congested and compacted and just really difficult to understand and appreciate. Bit of a stage upstairs as well, so people could see some guests on stage. John Barrowman was one that I managed to catch, and that man can rock a stage. He knows how to hold someone's attention. It looks a wee bit cramped. You are not kidding. This stage was held upstairs on the balcony, facing away from everywhere else, so it was nicely kept out of the way, and everyone could kind of enjoy the stage area. But you kind of had to make your way up to the balcony and find out where it was and find out what was going on. But here we go. This was what I'm on about. Over here on the right-hand side, behind this white pillar, you have a bloke standing there, and all those people are facing him because he is just corralling and shouting information, shouting on stuff about when people are signing, when photographs are going to be available. It was barter town. It was absolutely barter town. It's just insane to see. John Barrowman's table there. I think he's signing with a fan up front. Always good to kind of jump forward. Brian Blessed with his George's tie there. Yeah. Danny John Jules. And is that John Barrowman? Yeah, John Barrowman there, kind of like meeting you, greeting fans. He's always one to step from behind his table and really kind of interact with the fans. So fair play to John in that regard. Brian Blessed holding court. And a good friend of ours looking after him there. Yes, excellent stuff. So we've got over here Danny. Oh, right, yes, Danny Glover. Danny Glover was moving around in a wheelchair. The man has got some miles under his belt. However, looking actually very good for himself. He was being behind the table, and if I was to say how he looked, if anyone's seen the film Shooter, he's still looking like he hasn't aged from that film. But yes, at the end of the day, it was great for fans to see him here in the UK. And of course, obviously, combined with Mel Gibson, was quite the fan for the fans of Lethal Weapon there. Okay. But oh, yeah, there we go. That gives you an idea. That is a box room in the corner of the convention floor. All these people are kind of milling around or lining up to get in to see Mel Gibson. Good shot there, Caroline. You managed to catch Mel sort of like just buried away, but there were signs everywhere. No photos. Simple as. You kind of, you had to pay for privilege, which is kind of like the Showmasters model. It really is that simple. So there we go. I mean, it's more pictures really of the floor. Is that Sean Young? It is Sean Young being interviewed on stage, and that kind of gives you an idea. Catching him with her eyes closed there. And then you had another stage on the other side of the convention center balcony, where we also had comics guests. So it was an actual comics zone stage. So you had here the CEO of Z2 Comics. You had artists for Z2 as well, and Tony Lee being interviewed here as well. So some great guests on the comic stage on the comic stage area. Isad Ribic had a spotlight panel. Laura Braga had a spotlight panel as well. Hello there, Laura, giving us a bit of a smile. Roger Lantridge as well. Some just really great talent. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Well done, Caroline. Nice sneaky picture of Danny Glover there. Thank you very much indeed for that. But nice bit of cosplay. Excellent stuff indeed. At the end of the day, I'm going to leave it there when it comes to pictures, because I'll try and post some more on Blue Sky and Threads. Do follow Englishman SDCC, and I'll do what I can to get those up. I've also taken some video footage, some interviews with a number of the Comic Zone guys. So the likes of Alex Packnadell, the guys from the 77 publication. I got some great chats. So please do follow, and I'll be posting those over the course of the next few days. Again, I have issues. Number one, about the way that the room was being organized, and the fact that it was only one room at all. Just baffles me for the fact that it is a major convention in the summer in London. Either you pick another venue, or, I mean, I appreciate you showing your loyalty to Olympia, but at the end of the day, if Olympia can't deliver, you have to kind of compromise and find somewhere else. Then, of course, there's the way that they have treated their guests. At the end of the day, it's always felt a tad mercenary. It's all, and then again, it's mercenary not just on Showmasters' part, but also on the part of attendees who are fans of Showmasters and that model. It's about paying the money, getting the photo, paying the money, getting the autograph. Showmasters paying, taking the money, the guests taking the money. It seems it's very materialistic, which means when a guest seems to appear to let them down, an organizer can feel a little slighted. But there's slighted, and then there's this. On the Saturday morning, Craig Charles was a no-show, which meant they wanted to find out where he was. At the end of the day, he's been given a bit of a flat rate before he appeared at the show. And, oh, hello, what's on there? It's disappeared. And at which point they then went to his hotel room to try and find out where he was. Craig Charles, LFCC update. We contacted Craig at 9 a.m. to be told that due to a family emergency, he would not be in until 11 a.m. At 11:30, we spent 20 minutes knocking on his hotel room door where there was no answer. His Red Dwarf colleagues were unable to contact him at 12:30, where he confirmed he was ill and unable to attend. These are the facts, at which point they then go on about information about the rest of the show with Danny John Jules, Robert Llewellyn, and Hattie, basically telling them about the rest of the Red Dwarf appearance. So you first up have this post, and then you have a video of them banging on the door. This is where things just go off the rails, because now it just feels like I can totally understand this is a guest has dropped out. It's not our fault, and I get it. But what you don't turn around and do is go to his hotel room and start banging on his door. You haven't showed up. Where the hell are you? And then post it on social media. What you post? This guest is unable to attend due to a family emergency. Refunds will be issued at a later date. We apologize for the inconvenience. And that is it. What the hell? This is just insane to me for a professional convention to harass on social media. Danny John Jules, he posted on his social media that he'd apologized for blomming on the Saturday, that he wasn't able to attend due to being unwell. At which point he then obviously saw this post from Showmasters and then stated, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. This seems a little out of order. And yes, for me, it is. It is just poor relation, not only with your guests, but with your followers and your attendees. I felt this was incredibly unprofessional, as posted by Ashley Mansfield here at the Red Dwarf Fan Club, the post by Showmasters. Alison's right. It was very unprofessional. He might be very sick. And indeed, it was posted on the Liverpool Echo. Craig Charles, obviously a Liverpudlian, saying he was incredibly ill and that he had reached out and said that unfortunately it was serious. He was very, very sick. Whether he was sick, whether he threw up, whether he went out on a bender the night before and just slept in, you don't then go to his hotel room and bang on the goddamn door. Unreal. Chuck Cook, publicly shaming guests seems like a good way to ensure you'll have fewer and less popular guests in the future. If the Red Dwarf crew don't go to London Film and Comic Con or to any Showmasters guest events in the future, I would not be at all surprised. And they would be completely in their rights to do so. Alison, I bet he never signs up again. And Chuck, hello there, Toby. That's some bull poop right there. It's unreal. Absolutely unreal for this behavior from a supposedly professional organization. That being said, we had fun. It was a good giggle. Admittedly, I spent a lot of my time up on the top balcony. Caroline kind of went wandering around the show floor. She had a great time taking pictures of booths, taking pictures of cosplayers. Admittedly, that first half an hour of being bumped and pushed and shoved, I had a bit of a flashback to when we first went to San Diego Comic-Con and just she was ready to punch somebody. At the end of the day, you don't upset a Welsh woman. And yeah, just being so gauche and kind of pushed around was a bit much. So there we go. But again, we enjoyed it. The Comic Zone was fantastic. Tony Lee is the guy who has done that, acclaimed author, and has done some comics as well. Has a lot of contact with the comics community. So you have the likes of Isad Ribic, Adi Granoff, Roger Landstrig. You had just a wide array of comics guests, and just really impressive to have the space. The previous year, last year, the comics zone was put right in the middle of the first hall, which meant it put a real spotlight on the comics creators that had been invited that year. But as a lot of the attendees and the guests said, up on the balcony, that meant that if you were making your way up to the balcony, it meant that you were dedicated enough to find the comic zone. Fantastic. Things that I did see and things that I did pick up. I also took time to talk to Neil Gibson, very good friend of ours, who I've known for many years, from when I went to Thought Bubble 10, 15 years ago. He has done a great range of books called Twisted Dark, and we've interviewed him on the podcast before. He has also reached out to the makers of Black Mirror, and you may have seen, if you follow your comics news, that Twisted Dark, or Neil Gibson and his imprint, are going to be doing adaptations of Black Mirror stories. He is a fan, and he has said, I want to adapt these stories into comics. I want to do it in a unique and original way with some fantastic artwork. This is not the final art, but I think I've shared this on my socials because it's stark, it's evocative, and what Neil has done is just a great start. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the full rendition of the Black Mirror stories. He's done 2 at the moment. He's done San Junipero, and he's done a USS Callisto. Saw a preview copy of USS Callisto, and yeah, unfortunately we weren't able to pick up a copy because it was all kind of like, hey, have a look, can't take it, but we did get the ash can for this. Keep your eyes open. That's going to be a big thing for Neil, and also for Black Mirror as well. So if you are a fan, keep your eyes open for that. Also, Z2 were on display, so it was good to have them there. Z2, I think I've showcased some stuff before. I've got one of their books down there. I've got 2 of them down there, actually, which have been put together by Alex de Campi. Maddie, Once Upon a Time, which is an amazing, big presentation. Z2 really know how to put a book together. And they also did war stories as well. But where their focus is kind of shifting as music fans, they are doing books that are related to either band members that want to tell stories in comics, or books that are related to artists. So, for example, there's a book which I have in the house somewhere, which is the Tori Amos book, which I bought in San Diego when Z2 were showcasing there. And I picked up this while I was in London Film and Comic Con, which is Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes, which is a graphic album based around the stories and the songs from Tori Amos' groundbreaking album. So, some great artists. And like I say, the book is always, they do a great job. Did an interview with Z2, but I picked up that because apparently that is going to be one of the last copies available in Europe, shy of getting it as an import. So I thought I'd pick that up. And the last thing that I picked up, now this was something which I'm very excited to share, because it was an artist or a new publisher, a young lad that was putting out his book for the first time. This is a guy called Worship. Okay, I've got his details there. Worship, illustrator, comic artist. His name is David Neal, and he is driven to make comics and self-publish and get a book out. And he wanted to get something done, which he has done. This is The Ruins of Tartarus, picked up by Alex Packnadell, who knows his stuff, knows talent when he sees it. But these are art pieces which are also referenced by, if I could just forget that focus, by songs which he happens to like. So, for example, you've got here a scene mood which has been prompted by The Weeknd, and then you've got artwork that looks like the Gorillaz. Driven to make a comic, and therefore made it and put it out himself. London Film and Comic Con was the place where he debuted it. How cool is that for a creator to have a place to showcase to an audience a book like that? I'm going to do a full review on this on social because the artwork is absolutely phenomenal. He does an amazing job of rendering, and yeah, good choice in tunes as well. The Tom Petty Wallflowers, like that. I'm going to share that information if you can. If you want to find out more, head to worship.illustrator. So worship.illustrator on Instagram. See if you can find out more about this guy, because David, I think, has got a little bit of future ahead of him. And quite frankly, if Alex Packnadell has caught his attention, I bought a second copy of this and put it into the hands of Rich Johnson at Bleeding Cool. Hopefully that'll get some attention as well. Very, very cool indeed. Which gives you that yin and yang of showmasters, that sense of discovering a new talent, talking to a creator, really getting a good conversation up on the top balcony. And then you've got the money grabbing of selling and hawking wares in the booths and just getting the money pulled out from you for a signature or an autograph, which lasts seconds. I've never been a fan of the autograph photo op setup at conventions. It's not my bag. For those that do it on an industrial level, Showmasters does it best. They just could have chosen a better venue. It's a shame. Follow my socials. I'm going to be posting more about what I saw and got up to. Certainly when it comes to interviews and photos, go and check it out at Englishman SDCC when I post those in the next couple of days. Right. One last time, okay, because I'm going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con next, and then I'm going to go through the comments and find the stories and give away some tickets to go and see Superman. Thanks to our friends at Fandango, you've got, I'd say, about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, yeah. To get a story, what Superman means to you as a super fan, okay? Use the hashtag Superman Englishman in San Diego, so AEISD, on the YouTube comments, which we're going to choose 2 people to get 2 pairs of tickets. And we're going to give 3 pairs over on Blue Sky. Photos, video, stories. What makes you a super fan? That's what we're looking for. Okay. Let's have a look at what we're talking about here. A couple of things that have come out of the announcements. Like I say, we're going to be getting the panels next week, hopefully, when it comes to... In fact, I think I've still got the... let's see if I've got the information when it comes to the timetable when we could be seeing... That's it. There we go. The timetable for getting the information of panels for San Diego Comic-Con, which will be this week, basically. So we're going to be getting the Thursday information for Thursday the 24th on Thursday the 10th. And then we have ourselves the Friday the 25th. We're going to get that information this Friday. Saturday 26th, this Saturday. And then on Sunday show, we'll do a final rundown for all the information for panels and presentations. What's going to be on Ballroom 20? What's going to be in Hall H? What's going to be in Indigo? What's going to be in those little rooms dotted around the San Diego Convention Center? All of the programming is going to be announced this week. So there we go. We're also slowly but surely finding out as well who's going to be appearing at San Diego Comic-Con. And somebody on Reddit has managed to share this, and I'm going to have to find out, confirm this. But, you know, fair play. That's what this has gone out, and this has come from 7BAP, which have got themselves a booth, which you can find them at 4945, and as well as seeing the guys from 7BAP, which is a Collect Your Childhood is what they're called. You're going to be able to meet Alec Baldwin. You're going to be able to go to San Diego, shoot in, shoot out, and meet the man himself at booth 4945. There you go. Danbury, it's legit. Alec will be there, and, you know, break out the prop guns and say hello to the man himself. All right. Slowly but surely this week, we are going to find out more about who's going to be appearing at guests, at panels, and who's going to be arriving and who's going to be showing up. What you can find on the floor, however, I mean, certainly, hopefully this week as well, we're going to be getting a map of the exhibit floor, because there's several things I want to find out. I want to find out more about what Funko are going to be doing. They are not doing Funko Fridays. They're dialing back their presence at San Diego. But does that mean they're dialing back on the floor. They don't have Mondo as a partner, you mean. So you have yourself, it's going to be Funko, and it's going to be Loungefly taking up that corner. Does that mean they're going to be using less space and there's going to be more space for Artist Alley? At the end of the day, Artist Alley, they lost their organizer with Klein Knee, unfortunately, this year, which means it's a new team that I'm sure they're going to want to put their stamp on things and make sure that Artist Alley is the best it possibly can be. So fingers crossed we're going to be seeing some cool people the likes of Artist Alley, including this chap who's a good friend of the show, and we'd love to get him back on to say hello. It's, of course, Patrick Ballesteros. He's been announcing this week's stuff that you can see at his booth. He's not telling us where that booth is going to be, but it's going to be one of the most popular booths, of course, at Artist Alley. And it's when you're going to get the chance to pick up this as collectibles go. It is a Ted Lasso Believe banner, which is cool. Yeah, as always, it's Patrick Ballesteros, so it just looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, absolutely cool. Chuck Cook is talking about some other people that are appearing at 7BAP as well. The Star Wars voice actors apparently are going to be showing up. Which ones are going? Chuck, do you know? You're gonna have to let me know. He also talked about read that about Baldwin this morning. The puns in the comments are brutal. Don't doubt it. But yeah, he's been announcing all sorts of bits and pieces about what you can see at San Diego. This looks incredible. Lovely little piece of artwork as the big show, which you can pick up or get bought at San Diego Comic-Con this year. That looks amazing. So if you are able to get yourself over to Barry, oh, there you go. He has announced where he is, DD08. So that's going to be halfway down in the middle of the on the left-hand side of Artist Alley. Do go check it out because that's going to be something special. It's always a very busy booth, but that's because the work is so fantastic. So yeah, Patrick Ballesteros appearing at DD08. He's just too bloody good at this, isn't he? He's just too bloody good. Oh man. Patrick, you legend. You absolute legend. There you go. The big show is one of the prints that she's doing exclusive to San Diego this year. Fantastic stuff. He's also going to be doing this as well, which I'm actually quite gutted because I've been collecting these particular prints, and it's a shame that I won't be able to get hold of the Hans Zimmer one, which is a celebration of the music makers of Hollywood. He's done John Williams, which I've got the others as well. But that looks amazing. What a great piece of artwork celebrating the work of Hans Zimmer. Do check out Patrick Ballesteros' socials. He's got everything up on his Facebook at the moment. Do go check out what he's got coming for San Diego this year. Speaking of San Diego, when it comes to things that you can get your hands on, if you are moving around San Diego, say, for example, if you are going to be up at the top end of town and making your way into San Diego, or maybe you're just going to be using the metro transit system, the MTS, to get in and out of San Diego. Well, as it happens, MTS are once again being very big when it comes to supporters of the convention, doing discounted San Diego Comic-Con 2025 passes, valid from, I believe, the Wednesday through to the Sunday. 5-day pass, $20. I mean, come on, that's just a result, isn't it? Available through the Pronto app, and you can just do it all digitally using your phone. I don't know if they're going to be doing the special passes again, which, if I pull my wallet out, it's just do this and go like that. Put my wallet out, and I'm certain somewhere at the back of the of one of my things. Where is it? I'm sure I've got. It's in here somewhere. Oh no, where is it? I've got my Pronto pass. Yeah, which you can load up, obviously. But that was the limited edition one that they did for San Diego Comic-Con. There you go. But of course, for everybody else, if you want to do it on your phone, $20 will be perfectly adequate. If you're only there for a couple of days, however, you've got 4-day passes at $16, 3-day passes at $13, and 2-day passes at $10. They're also rolling out a new giveaway for 2025. While they won't be offering their usual physical Comic-Con exclusive cards, attendees can look forward to free coin banks sponsored by Nintendo and Crunchyroll. Designs and giveaway locations announced soon. Thank you very much indeed to the unofficial blog for sharing that information. Excellent stuff indeed. Chuck Cook is letting us know they're going to be having at 7BAP Ashley Eckstein, James Arnold Taylor, and Matt Atlanta during parts of Saturday and Sunday. Excellent stuff indeed. Right then, so we've got ourselves these two sets of tickets to go and see Superman, thanks to Fandango. And I've been scrolling through the comments that have been coming in. Thank you very much indeed for sharing these as well. Your love for Superman is strong, which is what we wanted to see. But I think it's safe to say we've got ourselves a couple of front runners. We've got the likes of Toy Fan, who mentioned seeing the Man of Steel panel in Hall H was a pretty cool moment, as was the Batman Superman announcement. I missed both of those. Oh no, I didn't. Sorry, I missed the Batman versus Superman announcement because Caroline had done a bit of an injury, so we were in the room and we'd heard about the announcement. But Hall H, Man of Steel, they bring out Henry Cavill for the first time, and it was at that point I lost my missus. Because Caroline had not shown a great deal of interest in Man of Steel up to that point, at which point Henry Cavill walked out on stage and sat down. Her hand grabbed my knee and she made an oohing sound, which made it very abundantly clear that I was no longer the focus of attention for my wife. Henry Cavill had her in his grip. So yes, Man of Steel, I'm not jealous whatsoever. But there we go. Right, but here we go then. So 2 pairs of tickets. Okay, we will be getting in touch with these 2 lucky winners. Congratulations. First up, Alexander Alvarez from the very start joined us to, I think, in it to win it, to win this. I love the more contemporary Superman stories, the darker versions of Superman, so to speak, still tap into the essential essence of who he is and what he represents, Red Sun, Injustice, and also really loved All-Star Superman, and then shared it with the hashtag as well. So, Alexander, thank you very much indeed. What we'll do is, if you can, now, Dan is watching this. Dan, I don't think we've actually worked out how to perhaps get in contact with these people to get in their passes. But Alexander, you're our first winner, and of course, it's safe to say that our second winner, who's really kind of been with us from the start of the show and really sharing her thoughts as well, is Alison Labour as well. Thank you so much indeed for getting in touch and using the hashtag and being contacting all the way through and just really kind of sharing her love of Superman. So thank you so much indeed for you to Sir Alison Label and to Alexander Alvarez. Congratulations. You are our winners today. And yes, you've got yourself a pair each of Superman tickets. So let's see if we've got any comments down below. Let's see if as Dan jumped in, let us know how we're going to contact everybody. But I think the best thing that we can do is we'll work. I don't know, actually. Tell you what, if you want to drop us a line on Blue Sky or on Facebook, if you find us an Englishman in San Diego, or if you find us on our socials, and yeah, get in touch and we will get you those codes. Congratulations to Alison and to Alexander, who are our winners of our live show giveaways. We've got 3 more pairs of tickets to give away to go and see Superman. So if you're watching this after the fact, or if you wanted to have another go at it, okay, jump on our social, and we are looking at Blue Sky, okay? Blue Sky, you have to follow us, and you have to share your Superman love. Either a photograph, either a video, or a really big story of what Superman means to you as a super fan, using the hashtag Superman AEISD, an Englishman in San Diego. share the love and share the Superman love. And you can do that up to 5 p.m. on Wednesday. So that's Pacific time. It's only available, unfortunately, for the American audience. But yes, if you want to take part and if you want to get yourself a pair of tickets to go and see Superman this weekend, opening weekend, go and enjoy this the Man of Steel on the biggest screen, courtesy of Fandango. But there we go. Right. I think the only other thing I wanted to really kind of talk about really quickly before I wrap up is the con I went to 2 weekends ago, which was a show in a lovely part of the world, which is McPow in Macclesfield, just outside of Manchester. The great thing about this show is I'm going to be getting the organizer, Mark Jackson, who we've highlighted on this podcast before. Mark is absolutely driven to getting young people and kids into comics. So much of the show is geared to having kids grabbing pieces of paper, drawing their just a character, just drawing anything. Doesn't have to be a superhero. Just drawing an animal. Just drawing a comic, and really embracing the love of the form. Mark is brilliant for this. I mean, his work already has got so much attention around the world. I was lucky enough to pick up and fill up a couple of gaps from my Mark Jackson collection. So, for example, his comic of Magnum PI, I've been looking forward to get my hands on that for a while, and also Goof as well, which his work is always so distinctive, and it's just a really great piece of work. So yeah, Mark Jackson knows how to get your attention on a page. So yeah, it was really fantastic to have Mark put this show on. But it also had some really amazing talent from the likes of Sean Phillips, from the Phillips boys. So you had them showing up. You had Rachel Smith, you had Sonia Leong, you had Roger Langstridge, you had it's just some fantastic talent. So as well as legitimate comic guests, you really had the cartoonists all the way up to fantastic comic talent from around the world in this really small homespun event. MacPow is, for me, the antithesis of showmasters. It's not about getting your money. It's about absolutely embracing the love of the fandom, of the art, of the creative form. It's just amazing. Another person that was there as well, which I was very lucky to see, because I was hoping to pick this up at Thought Bubble, but she's not paneling, she's not tabling there this year, so she wouldn't have been bringing this to there. Molly Ray, who was tabling at McPow, bringing copies of her debut big book, Giant, which is just astonishing. One morning, a teenage boy wakes to find that he's grown to the size of a giant. Inspired the journey of author's younger brother, this wordless wonder of a book which follows the experience of a family as one of their own faces a life-threatening illness. As his health declines, can the family remain resilient on his long journey through treatment? Deeply moving and tender with gorgeous illustrations, Molly Ray's debut graphic novel is a resonant story of empathy, healing, and hope. It's published by Faber. It's available now, and if you can get yourself a copy of this, I would heartily recommend it. That is Giant by Molly Ray. An emotional gut punch, which is highly rewarding. Amazing book. So there we go. Chuck Cookie is giving us a little bit more information about 7BAP, which is, by the way, booth 4945 at San Diego, same as last year, which is in the Funko Corner. So expecting a bit of a zoo if you're expecting or trying to get something signed. They really do know how to jam that back corner, don't they? Insane. 2 weeks to go. We've got San Diego Comic-Con barreling down the pipe. Like I say, this week we will be getting information about the panels. We are going to be doing our live streams on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as we go through not only the big rooms, Hall H, Ballroom 20, Indigo, etc., 7AB, ABC, but also going to find our dark horses and those little gems which you can find in the programming of San Diego Comic-Con 2025. And that's our show. Bit of a big one this week. It's been fun to talk to you about the things that I've seen. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. If you joined us for our Superman giveaway, once again, if you are all the way to the end, Superman, AEISD, we are going to be giving 3 more pairs of tickets or Fandango codes. We're going to be giving those away before Wednesday, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. So you need to get yourself as quick as possible on there. Andrew English, I'm not there this year. I will try and watch on time. Yeah, Andrew bumped into us at London Film Comic Con. That was fun. Good to have him there. But there we go. Right. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do take care. Once again, I will see you a little bit earlier. Yeah, we're all over the place with the days. We usually do this on a Sunday, but we will be back on Thursday as we talk about programming, day 1 of San Diego Comic-Con 2025. Thanks for your company. Take care. Have yourself a pleasant week. And I'll see you on Thursday to talk panels. See you soon. Bye-bye.